Okay, again, welcome to the virtual open house at Okanagan College. My name is Tammy Berry and I'm one of the instructors at Okanagan College, and my co-host today is going to be Kathy Truin, and she's again one of our other instructors at Okanagan College. Today we're going to be doing a mini presentation. We're going to be running through some of the slides that show our clinic, our current clinic. I'm not sure if you all are aware, but we are actually moving into a new health building very, very shortly. For us in our program, it will be January 2021, and we're super excited about that. So there will be some changes from the slides we're going to show you today to our new clinic in January. But it's kind of the same concept. It's we do try to portray a real dental office, and even more so in the new building that we'll be getting and moving into in January. So I am going to start our presentation. There is a couple of slides. Oops, sorry. Yeah, well, we'll start here. This slide is actually a picture of me and Joanne Gibbons-Smythe, the other full-time instructor at Okanagan College. And this is a current picture of our dental operatories. So this is for the operatories that we do use at Okanagan College. And it will look a little bit different in a new building, but same kind of idea. We have 9 operatories, and students work individually and as a group sometimes. We get the joys of being our own patient and also working on mannequins. So this is just introducing. So I'm the one with the blazer on, and Joanne is actually the one wearing scrubs. So our next slide. And if you guys have any questions as you go along, just raise your hand. I can stop at any time, and we can answer your questions as you go. Next is our, our sterilization area. So these are a couple of our students from last year, and they're working in our sterilization department. Our new clinic will have a similar area. Sterilization is one of the foundations of being a dental assistant. A lot of chairside assistants start in the sterilization, and it is a big part of our training at Okanagan College. Learning how to work in sterilization and the foundations of infection control is pretty big, and I mean, it's something we're all becoming a little bit more aware of with COVID right now. So it is an important part of being a dental assistant. And so this is kind of where you guys spend a lot of time in the beginning, and it's kind of the starting point to becoming a dental assistant.
And maybe you could mention that our standards were already like COVID ready.
Perfect. Kathy had a good point. Our standards at Okanagan College are always super high. We always do best practice. So prior to COVID, we already had very high standards. We have had to incorporate some new health and safety procedures. Things do look a little bit different in our clinic. But for the most part, we were able to return to small groups in clinic, small cohorts moving through our clinic a couple days a week, because our health and safety practices are so high already. So it's something for you guys to know that we are still going into clinic. Theory looks a little different right now, similar to kind of what we're doing. We're doing an online platform called Collaborate, but we are getting some face-to-face time in the clinic, and it's always changing. Our hope is to get up from 4 groups of 8 right now to 2 groups of 16 in January if everything goes well. So it is nice because then we have more time seeing our students in the clinic. Our students do work, like I was saying, this is one of our mannequin heads. Again, this is one of our students from last year. We work very hands-on. We do work on each other quite a bit, but we do work on mannequin. Having great fine motor skills is an important asset to being a dental assistant. And I'm sure most of you have had your teeth polished in the past. That's one of the regulated duties as a certified dental assistant. And that's what our student is performing in this picture. And again, it's a lot of fine motor skills. This is a skill that we start practicing in 2nd term, and it's really perfected by the end of the program. but it does take a lot of hand manipulation, a lot of hand exercises to work up to doing a 30-minute prophy. So it's something that we accumulate over time, and we start with the basics back in the beginning, but our student is almost finished here. I think she's second or third term at this point. Here is two of our students actually working in one of our operatories in our clinic. So you can see how we work as not only as an assistant, you get some time to be an operator as well. So we jump around and play with our roles. Here we have our mannequin head in our patient chair, and we're practicing what it would be like to assist with a dentist. Some really hands-on practical experience, and lots of it while we're in school. Another really important part of being a dental assistant is learning the health and safety procedures or protocols around taking x-rays. So here we have different mannequin heads that we use for taking our x-rays. And this is one of our students learning how to take an anterior x-ray. We're really excited about moving into the new operatories at the new health building, where we will have more opportunities to be using x-rays in every single operatory. So really new progress in the new building, making it more of a flow, less restricted for students, just more practice time, more availability. So we're really excited about that. And yeah, we have a different x-ray area. We've gone very digital, computerized, and we're always progressing all the time. So very exciting. Here's a different view, just a student taking a different angle on our mannequin head. All of our mannequins have names. That's what's on the forehead of our mannequin here, if you can see on the sticky note. They all have different teeth, different bites, different learning experiences. Some of them actually have real teeth, which gives you more of a real experience. And so yeah, it's pretty neat. These guys have neat heads, neat x-rays. Being part of a dental assistant doesn't just mean working on patients, it also means working on computers. So we actually have you guys trained in some of the programs. One of the programs we use commonly in our program is Dentrix. So when we take x-rays, like I was saying, we do digital x-rays. We have little plates that look like little films, and we process them in the unit that's on the side there, that PECHA. So you run it through a machine and it pops an image up on the screen, but also our students they run through a whole, I'm trying to think of what it would be, not really reception, administrative. They have one of their courses is more around administrative roles, learning how to chart. A lot of offices have moved away from paper charts, and a lot of our charting is now done digitally on the computer. So being fluent and aware of
just the different platforms.
Yeah, different platforms, being a little flexible because there isn't just one software that we use. Dental offices have multiple different types of softwares. So this one is great, very user-friendly, commonly used throughout dental practices. But it's also just changing things up. So you're not just always working on mannequin or a patient, you're also learning computer software and things like that. So it's dentistry is ever changing and ever evolving. There we go, ever evolving.
Yes.
As well, you guys can ask your questions in chat if something does come up. Like I said, Kathy's my co-host. She's here to answer questions if something comes up on chat. Or like I said, you can always put your hand up and we can share with your mic on as well. This is another picture of our clinic, and this is one of our clinical instructors named Lorna. Lorna works with us a couple days a week, and she also works in practice as well. And she's one of our other clinical instructors. So you'll see Lorna around on the floor as well if you come through and meet us. Being part of a dental assistant, again, very versatile. We do a lot of different skills. We have a lot of different parts to our dental office. So we're very excited about the new building because not only do we have a new clinic portion, we also have a new lab. Currently, our lab was designed as part of our classroom. So we had a classroom that we did we performed lab duties in. One of them being pouring up models. So we were taking impressions. If any of you guys have ever had ortho done before in the past, this is our students pouring up, let's say, kind of like ortho models. They're doing some study models, but it's done in the classroom. And now we're going to have a brand new lab in our new building. And so it'll be separate from our classroom, which we're very excited about. Do you have something you want to add?
I just want to say that to have a designated lab just makes it more like our clinic really is a real dental office.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So that's all I wanted to say. And it's just going to improve so much more than it already is.
Exactly. A lot of offices, like Kathy was saying, we have a lot of offices that have, you have your clinic portion where you're going to seat your patients. You have your receptionist area, but you also have a lab. And in your lab, that's where you get to be a little bit more creative. You get to pour up study models, maybe you're trimming models, maybe you're fabricating. So there's lots of different things that as dental assistants, we get to make and get creative with. And that's all done in a lab as well. So really exciting to have its own separate room in our new building. And I heard that it's looking pretty nice already. So another exciting part to our new health building. But exciting for you guys as well, because as we move forward, we have this designated area to get creative, to play.
Lorna just joined us.
Yeah, so one of our other instructors, Lorna, just joined us, I see. Lorna, you just missed, your picture was posted. We just had you introduced on a slide about probably a minute ago. Here you can see again, like we were saying, so this is our classroom / lab. And one of our students it looks like she's finishing up one of her study models. I think she's getting it ready to seal all the air bubbles and finish off a model. So again, getting very creative, using our hands. We commonly use our hands quite a bit as dental assistants, but being able to have some creativity is always a fun part in the dental lab. I think Lorna took her mic off. Did you want to say something, Lorna? You were saying hi to our
Hi, everybody. Just thought I'd pop in. I'm not turning the video on because it's Sunday. I haven't done my hair. Who does their hair anymore?
Exactly, especially on a Sunday during COVID, right? Yeah, so we have a couple participants. They all have their mics muted and stuff right now. We're just kind of flicking through the slides and probably going to get into maybe some chatter discussion at the end. Yeah, so we'll continue on here. Okay, so our next slide. Again, this is our students and they're in the lab portion of our clinic. And they are having the opportunity to use our model trimmers. So again, just changing things up. We get to use pieces of machinery or equipment, always ever changing. There's quite a bit to learn in our 10-month program. Oh, Lorna, I think your mic's still on.
That's okay. I didn't say anything.
I know, we can hear you shuffling around. So yes, our students are trimming up their models. So again, part of being a dental assistant is something different and unique.
And it's just such a sought after skill too.
Oh yeah.
These new grads go into practice and they've already had a lot of experience in the lab. So if it's something that you love, you're going to have lots of opportunity to do it, because pretty much everything in dentistry has some lab component.
Yes, for sure. And I mean, again, like you said, it's ever changing. And we have our models that these students poured and finished and spent a lot of time on to get these end results, which look really nice. But nowadays too, we also have scanners. So when we were talking about going paperless, the ever-changing dentistry, it's always changing and evolving, and now we're seeing a lot more. There's 3D imaging with X-rays, so a lot of offices have CBCT scanners now, which is really interesting. And then we have scanners where we can scan our teeth and take a look at our teeth that way. And then they can make models again from those 3D scans. So it's pretty neat, pretty ever changing. And so the way that dentistry is going, but this is the end result from these students from last year. And you can tell that they're very proud of their final accomplishments. And at this point, they're normally in third term or second term, just finishing up second term. And things are starting to all kind of come together. So finishing up and ticking those boxes and completing that final model, it does take a long time to get to that point. So it is a great accomplishment to get there for sure. Okay, another fun part would have to be our presentations. So students get an opportunity to go out into the public and visit elementary schools. So part of one of our courses around preventative has to do with designing a program to an age group, a specific age group, because every age group is very different. And these guys are given classrooms. So normally it's 2 or 3 classrooms, and they create presentations designed for that age group. And then they get to go out into the public and they get to do their presentations all around preventative. So getting children excited about dentistry, alleviating those fears of the dentist and making it something fun. So it's always interesting and exciting to see those final products and those final presentations. These guys got very creative. We had some shaving cream last year, and I think the shaving cream, was it mimicking the toothpaste, I think? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they use shaving cream to mimic toothpaste. We have Play-Doh that they've used to pretend that it's dental decay, or not decay, food particles and food stuck in between the teeth. So really getting fun with the children and having a lot of fun going out into the public. It just changes up your schooling. Very important part of dentistry is oral hygiene and giving our future generations the knowledge about what dental decay is and how we can prevent it. So teaching them young, getting them excited young is a very important part of being a dental assistant.
The teachers were so impressed last year too with our students and how well that they were teaching.
It's very fun. It's not only fun for you guys, it's fun for us to watch those final presentations. Like we said, it's getting near the end of the course. I think it's normally early spring, and that opportunity to get out into the public and just share your passion for the profession as well. It really does come across in these presentations. So it's lots of fun for us to watch, lots of fun for you guys to do. We also give all the little students, they get little goodie bags to take home with toothbrushes and floss and that. So it's always lots of fun. And here's just another slide around that presentation. Normally, not only are they talking about brushing and flossing your teeth, which you can see here, they used a big giant floss pick and they created teeth with styrofoam cups. And then again, it looks like they stuffed a little bit of, looks like tissue paper and pretended that it was bad bacteria or food that we needed to remove from in between. But not only are we talking about brushing and flossing, we're also talking about healthy habits and unhealthy habits. So nutrition does play an important role of becoming a dental assistant. Just overall, what affects our oral hygiene and our oral health. And so it's really fun when you get out there and start teaching kids because they're really young. They don't really have that full understanding of nutrition yet. So our students tend to make it a fun game of what's healthy and what's unhealthy, or healthy habits. And we don't say unhealthy, we say sometimes foods. So we have sometimes foods which say it's okay to eat potato chips sometimes, just not always foods. So again, it's fun for them to get involved. Normally we have them actually sticking food to the healthy tooth and to the unhealthy tooth and getting them really involved in these presentations, which is great as well. One more picture. This was a really creative setup of teeth. They used pop bottles of all different sizes. So it looks like you've got a 2-liter pop bottle and then some smaller pop bottles and some water bottles, just mimicking the different sizes of the teeth as well, creating a big giant toothbrush and really going through the brushing and flossing with the students. So very, very fun activities and great way to get the students involved too. Oh, wow. So that was our presentation. It did go very fast. It was just kind of a glimpse into, like I said, our current clinic, our current lab at Okanagan College, getting the opportunity to meet some of the instructors through pictures. And then, yeah, so do we have any questions from you guys specifically? Is anyone already, I think registration is opening up really soon. It's normally actually the first week in November. So should be opening up shortly for our program. Has anyone applied already or applied in the past?
I have applied.
Yeah.
Well, registered, and it was October 1st, I believe.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. So yeah, I'm behind. Okay. So yeah, that's great to hear. Were you able to come in? Do you know anything about the point system? Were you able to come in with any points at all?
No, and I think the majority of that is work experience, in a dental office. So that's not my background. This would be a career change. So I don't have those points, but I have done job shadowing at 2 different clinics.
Okay.
And other prerequisites I'm up to date with.
Sure. Have you thought about doing the Dent 001?
Oh, I've done that.
Okay.
Yes.
So that does count as a point as well, Kelly.
Right.
Yeah. So that's always something. I mean, we always kind of recommend that at least coming with that, which is probably where you did your job shadowing, I think. It's part of one of the steps or one of the little assignments, I want to say. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I mean, it's always good to hear why people are coming. Is there just wanting a career change, Kelly, or do you know anyone that's in the dental profession?
I know a few people, and one of the clinics a close friend of mine works in and has been a dental assistant for a long time. And actually it was really good to see the functioning of 2 different clinics. Just the change of, the specialties or the way the staff interact with each other. There was a lot of differences, really. Yeah,
I mean, and that's the thing. Every office is different, and we always say this to our students that we teach you one way, and we always teach you the best practice, but things vary from office to office and dentist preference, and of course we can't teach them all. So you guys have the great opportunity throughout our program to be able to go on 2 different practicums. So we have one practicum in early March or middle March, and then we have another one in June. And we do normally recommend that if possible, you go to 2 different dental offices just so you can see the differences. Sometimes there's really small dental offices and sometimes there's really large dental offices, and just realizing the difference because not everyone's going to like the same office. And so it is really great to have that opportunity to go on 2 practicums. So yeah. Any other questions, you guys? What else brings you to dental assisting? Thank you for sharing, Kelly. It was great chatting with you. I see. What did you say, Liz?
Hi. Or Liz?
Hi, it's Liz.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's just short for Alyssa.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry, I was just gonna ask how long is each term?
So great question. We do have 3 terms and they're all different sizes. So it's kind of similar, I guess well, probably not exactly the same as high school because what we have is we have 3 terms. So our first term runs from normally the last week in August until Christmas. This is our longest term, which is 16 weeks. It starts off a little bit more with more theory in the beginning because we always need a little bit of background knowledge. And then we rotate into introducing clinic, normally 2 to 3 weeks after we start theory, just so that we have a little bit of foundation in the beginning. Then we roll into clinic. And then as we progress, we tend to switch. So in the beginning, a little bit more heavy in theory until about Christmas time. And then we come back for second term, normally We probably have about 2 weeks off around Christmas, and then we come back for 11 weeks is our second term, and then our third term is 8 weeks. So during our second term, you're going to have a 2-week practicum. So really great as well. You get out, you get to be introduced to an office. You can use any of the skills that we have already completed, so anything that's been evaluated. And then in third term, we actually do a patient care clinic at Okanagan College. So we do get you guys to bring in some patients, and we get an opportunity to work on them in our clinic, which is really exciting. Although we work on peers all the way through our schooling, it's really fun to get that opportunity to actually work on little children and adults and just a variety of the public, which is great. And that's normally in May, and that runs for about 2 weeks in May. And then as soon as patient care clinic's completed, we do another practicum, and it's about a 3-week practicum. So we run about the same as your school year. We'll run from end of August, so a little bit longer, end of August to the end of June. So about a 10-month program, and just has a couple little mini breaks in there. We don't have a spring break, unfortunately, or a reading break. Just the way our program runs, we end up with our practicums instead of, there's just no spring break. It actually, I think, falls similar to when a high school student would have their spring break.
Thank you. Sorry, just another question.
Yeah.
Do we get paid for the practicums, or is that like a...
Yeah, unfortunately, we can't get paid because it's part of our schooling. So even, I know we've had students in the past, and I mean, it's an excellent question. Even in the past, we've had students that were currently working in an office, and unfortunately, even if you're working in an office, we can't have you being paid for your practicum. So if you were to choose to say work in that same office and work your practicum maybe Monday to Thursday, and then you picked up extra shifts Friday and Saturday, that's on your own time, that's okay. But your set hours are actually a requirement for your schooling that isn't paid, unfortunately.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Do we have some more questions? I see, is it Kathy's got some chatting going on in the chat box?
Yeah, it was about the point system, whether it's mandatory. It's not, but it's strongly advised. And I'm going to include a link here to the website, the CDA website.
Oh yeah, I was going to say, I do have, sorry guys, I had a question thing, but I do have a whole slide. So I'm just flicking to the next slide, you guys. We can still ask questions. I just had the next slide had, I highlighted, I highlighted our dental assisting program website, as well as I also included just a little bit of the highlights around the tuition costs. There's some extra fees on there. So we do have some fees are included, and then at the end is some additional fees. So most of your stuff is included in your tuition, around $5,000, but we do have lab kits, textbooks, uniforms, licensing fees. All of that stuff is separate. Graduation costs, there's a number of little extra costs, but the bigger ones for our set program would be our lab kit, your uniform fees, and your textbook. So that's kind of stuff that needs to be purchased right away. And I would say to budget for that, probably an extra $1,200, I would say, when you're thinking textbooks, uniforms, and lab kit. And then your licensing, administration fees, graduation fees, all of that stuff is more towards the end. And that again is going to be probably around $500 for that stuff. So there's a couple of things that aren't included in the tuition to kind of keep in mind and kind of budget for ahead of time.
Yeah. And it's not really recommended to get a used textbook for this program, just because dentistry is constantly evolving. And we have had students use, older versions of our main textbook to save a few dollars, but it doesn't always kind of coincide with the workbook or homework assignments or slides.
Good point, Kathy. Yeah, we actually just changed a number of our textbooks this year as well. So we've updated our main textbook, which is our modern dental assisting textbook. And then once that one's updated, we have a student workbook that goes kind of hand in hand with that. our student workbook, we give you guys a lot of activities through, and it's a lot for you, kind of almost like a self-assessment check as you go along. A lot of your homework we're getting you guys to check on your own. We're posting a lot online nowadays, but if you were to get a used textbook, a lot of that's been filled out for you. And I really do feel that you're actually losing that study tool because it really does align with our curriculum. And it's just another way for you to kind of like doing your homework is a way of testing yourself and what knowledge did I pick up and where do I need to focus on? And if it's already been filled out, it does make it a little harder for you. And I do use it all the time. So it's kind of best to just purchase new for this, especially when it comes to, we can't buy things separately unless you're looking at Amazon. I think they were talking, some people bought some stuff off Amazon. If you can buy stuff individually through Amazon, you might be okay, but I would definitely wait until we come out with a list of what editions we're using. Like I said, we did replace 2 new textbooks this year, which means we also replaced a new student workbook. And then I think radiography is coming out with a new textbook next year. And they're all kind of packaged in a bundle for you at the bookstore. So if they're all packaged in a bundle, you can't just buy 1 or 2 books from them. You have to buy the whole bundle as far as I was aware. And so that would be something that if you want to buy them individually, it's better to look on Amazon for that once you have a list of what we're getting. Okay. Any other questions, you guys?
I also just want to add to, you know, when I've taken courses in the past, sometimes I'll buy a textbook and maybe we'll read like not even a chapter and I get so frustrated. So these textbooks that that Tammy and Joe recommend for the program, you will use it, even moving forward in your career.
Exactly. It's kind of funny to say, but I do still have my textbook from 20 years ago. And until I started at Okanagan College about 6 years ago, actually almost 7, I guess, in January, I would still look at it just for references. They're amazing. And I know like Kathy was saying, they're always changing, but there is some great stuff that, I mean, in dentistry that just doesn't seem to change. So it is something that you are going to use. We use these textbooks a lot. We've only picked the textbooks that we use all the time. If there's another book that we kind of reference, we will have copies for you to kind of look at in the classroom, which is really rare, but I do have some instrument ID books. So I have books to show you guys different types of instruments, and I have 6 copies of those that I just have in the classroom so that everyone doesn't have to purchase those. So there's that, as well as we have a library with a lot of online resources now at Okanagan College, and you can always use those and borrow those online books as well. So there's always kind of extra research and stuff like that readily available without you having to purchase any other textbooks. Yeah. Did anyone else want to share why they're getting into dentistry, or do you have any family members that are already in dentistry? Anyone else want to share?
Yeah, my cousin is a dental assistant, so I asked her a lot of questions before coming to this.
Nice. I think that having family, or for me, it wasn't family in dentistry, but it was just having that interest. I actually had a ton of treatment done as a child, and I really enjoyed going to the dentist, and I just wanted to get into something that excited me. And yeah, although there was no family members or no one actually that I knew that was a dental assistant, it just interested me from at a very young age, and kind of still does, which is good. Anyone else feel like sharing? No, any other questions, you guys?
I just want to add too, once you finish the 10-month program, your learning doesn't stop there. Like we heard earlier in the session today, someone had been to 2 different offices. So there's always you know, different styles. But not only that, our governing body, the College of Dental Surgeons of BC, mandates that we stay current in our education, which is really great. Like we're forced to take 12 hours of continuing ed every year. And it's just like updated courses in dentistry, keeping current with our first aid certificates. So, and it's also a really great way to network with other offices. It really is a community.
I have a question on that note. Some of the ladies that I job shadowed with would have something like the ortho module.
Yep.
So is there a place that I'm just wondering like how local that would be to continue that education, and then is there like one place that you can resource all that?
Sure. We're very fortunate that actually Okanagan College offers both of the extra modules. So, well, I guess there's 3 extra modules you can take as a dental assistant currently. I guess actually there's an extra one if you go to Alberta. So every province is different too. So that's always kind of nice to keep, well, important to keep in mind. If you're going to transfer from province to province, we are under different regulatory bodies. And you'd want to check with your with that college before you move, look at the requirements, that kind of thing. Here in BC, we offer, and actually specifically at Okanagan College, we offer the ortho module and the proso module. So those are great. We offer them at least once, sometimes twice a year, depending on the demand. Both of those, we do recommend that you're normally out in practice for a year. But I don't think they're strict on that. It's nice to be out in practice for a year to really see what you like, really develop those fine motor skills, because both of them do require a lot of fine motor skills to be an ortho assistant or a prosthodontic assistant. But yeah, both of those modules are offered through Okanagan College. And they normally do, I think it's about an 8-week online theory portion. And then you come in and do a weekend at Okanagan College and do the clinic portion here. So both of those are offered at Okanagan College. And then as well, there is the sedation module that's offered through UBC, or you could go to the States as well. And it's not a newer module. It's newer in the sense that a lot of dentists are now doing sedation. So a lot more assistants are actually taking their sedation module. So it's nice that it's offered in Canada, because before it used to be only offered in the States. And I know that Kathy, you've taken that. So you had to go to the States, though, I think, to take it.
It was distance, and then the exam was adjudicated through Okanagan College.
Oh, nice. And then you didn't have to go down for any clinic portion?
No.
Okay, nice.
No. So that one in the States, they bank on you being in practice, in sedation practice. The one at UBC, there is a clinical component that you actually have to go down there, and there's a theory component as well. So it's more, you know, whether or not you're getting those clinic hours at work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Yeah, so we're very fortunate. I mean, we have students that come from all over to take the modules here at Okanagan College, and we really pride ourselves on being very current on our modules. And I know that we're updating the ortho module as we speak to get a little bit more Invisalign portion, because that seems to be what the new interest is right now and what a lot of general dentists are doing. So yeah, just one more thing that's offered at Okanagan College, and we'll be in our new building. Okay, good. Excellent questions, you guys. Any other questions? I do have one more slide. It did say, oh, now I don't see it here. I think actually I have 2 more slides. I was supposed to tell everyone that for coming on and checking out some of the virtual open house little, I guess, what are we calling this? A little mini session. You are eligible to enter for a $5,000 tuition credit. So there is a link here. So just for coming out, you guys should enter and try to win a $5,000 tuition credit, because that would pay for your tuition to become a dental assistant. So pretty kind of nice bonus for coming out and having a chat with us today.
Yeah, go for it.
For sure.
I hope a dental assistant wins that.
Yeah, that would be excellent. Any other questions, you guys? I don't know, actually, my email doesn't look like it's on there, but I will include my email as well. And actually, Kathy, you can probably enter yours too if you want. But if something comes up afterwards and you want to reach out to me, I guess I should have had a slide with my email on it. But you can reach out to me at, oh, Kathy's faster than me. It's our first name with our, sorry, our first initial with our last names at okanagan.bc.ca. Feel free to send us an email after if you have any questions that come up that you forgot to ask. And we really appreciate you guys joining us today. So thank you for coming and visiting and asking some excellent questions. Okay.
Good job, guys.
Thanks, Lorna. Thanks for popping in. Bye, everyone. Good job, Kathy.
High five.
There's Lorna. Now, Lorna, you're on record too, just so you know.
What's that? Oh, am I? Oh, sorry.
No, I'm
Let
just letting
me,
you know. Yeah, it's okay. Because you weren't there for my little speech saying that we're recording this session.
I guess we
Okay.
can
Yeah, you have to have.
We can stop
permission,
recording
right?
now. Here, we'll stop.
Yeah.
Stop recording.